hold the thought there. I'll come back to you. Let's head over to the phone lines again and speak to Programs Manager at the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Mary Awlana Addah. Hi, Mary. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning, and good morning to viewers. I'm doing well. Hope you are doing well.
Well, I could be better. I mean, the expose caught me off guard, but hey, what can we do? We know a lot of these things are going on. But did you watch the video, ma'am?
I did, unfortunately.
Okay. Anyways, there's been a lot of talk about expectation. People wanted it to hit high. I don't know how high they wanted it to hit, but they felt that it was below the bar and below what they had expected. Is that a sentiment you shared as well?
Okay, so watching this, I've come to know certain things. I believe also the of the video of the song.
Ma'am, if reposition yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, crystal clear.
Great.
Go ahead.
So what I said initially was the fact that Anas has come to be known with a lot of issues around credibility and evidence, presenting of his evidence. And so if people had high expectations, it is definitely so. You realize that as people watch, at the end of the video, people were so waiting. Perhaps maybe thinking there was something more. And I think that is attributed to the fact that it was titled Galamsey economy. And so people were expecting to see something on Galamsey. They did not see. But on the whole, it captured an issue that is relevant to developmental discourse, and I believe it was a big one which needed attention, and he presented it as such.
I see. Also is the case, I was just speaking to one of the colleagues again, he's with the Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana. We've had a lot of these civil society organizations, anti-graft campaigners, anti-corruption crusaders, and we have a lot more coming up. Yet, at levels of these practices, we've seen it surge. And it's become worrying. It's at a worrying state that you'd find that as much as we have you guys present there, we still have these concerns. And this time, there are no more concerns. They become a reality. What exactly must we do to ensure that all of these, at least if they are not entirely checked, they are minimized and to very low levels?
The role of civil society in this discourse is to present evidence and also ensure that we are fighting corruption exclusively. Remember, as a country, we have a plan that facilitates this fight. And to fight it exhaustively, each stakeholder, and I mean every individual in this country, would have to play their roles. Otherwise, we would talk and see no action. That is, we need to educate the citizenry, see and appreciate the corruption and corruption. I say so because.
Oh, Mary, we're losing you again. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. I can hear you all right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Great.
Please go ahead.
So I say we need to continuously educate our citizens to understand and appreciate the evils or the ills of corruption.
Right.
And not that when they benefit, that is it. They should begin to appreciate that the total cost of corruption to their life is more significant than the individual gains they make. And the cities and 20 cities people give to them. Those who are giving them those monies are making millions for themselves and their cronies. Secondly, we need to also begin to advocate and enhance the preventive role that the country is supposed to embark on to ensure that the corruption or the corrupt act does not happen at all. And that would be one of the best ways we can fight corruption. That we have put in place measures that detect as quickly as possible. So the role of institutions like the Tender Audit Agency should be strengthened to do their work even more effectively. So that at every level, wherever corruption has a likelihood of occurring, they nip it in the bud before it appears. And then finally, which is very significant and important, is the fact that we need to investigate, we need to prosecute, and we need to sanction the corrupt. When there is a perception out there that the political economy is fueled by elements of interference when it comes to issues around corruption, that the political economy has taken over the process, and for that matter, when people engage in acts of corruption, nothing would happen to them. Then we would see what we are seeing, manifesting in citizens' apathy to report acts of corruption, and then impunity on the part of the public office holder who has been entrusted with power to ensure that we fight corruption exhaustively. And so, critically, we are saying that civil society, the media, we have a big role to play in all of these. Investigative journalists will do their part, but then you pick it and sustain the discourse so that people do not get away with it, because the impression out there, we pick an issue, we talk about it. The longer it goes, it's maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, and then everybody goes back to their as usual. And so when we continue to encourage that firefighting approach to the fight against corruption, we will not make any gain. So it's for us to sustain the fight. And so when you mention that in the civil society front, there are many more people coming on board, you begin to ask yourself, what role are they playing out there? Do we know them? We should be very loud and very specific, because that is how to be in the space of doing researches. We should be working with investigative journalists to support this fight. And we should continue to sustain the discourse as well in our various spaces. But if we, because of some political experiences, and also sometimes we create them and it's difficult to operate because perhaps they lack logistics, and it's the sake of creating political organizations, then the civil society space in the anti-corruption space begins and continues to be the GIs and the very few who are allowed out there. We need the numbers to be able to make a point and sustain that point. And so for me, many people coming on board is not the issue, but their capacity to sustain the discourse is what we need to see.
I think that's very instructive. Thank you very much indeed for your time as always, and good job you're doing out there. We pray that we'll all support you guys as you go ahead to fight for Ghana. Thank you very much indeed. And that's Mary Awlana Addah, Programs Manager of the Ghana Integrity Initiative. Now,